All right, it's June 2007. I'm sitting in this bar in Stamford, Connecticut, trying to down a burger before my band and I have to go back on for our second set. And then out of nowhere, this guy starts marching toward me like some pissed off drill sergeant. As he gets closer, I realize it's Matt, the owner of the bar. I smile and say hello. Then he starts yelling at me like I just ran over his cat. Let me back up a bit. A few weeks earlier, I meet Matt for the first time when I walk into his bar to pitch my jazz band. I'd been pounding the pavement for days trying to line up as many summer gigs as possible. Anyway, I walk into Matt's bar with my press kit and my demo CD, and what does he say? You can play here, but no jazz. He wants pop, funk, and R&B. So I tell him no problem, we can do that too. But then Matt drops the real bombshell on me. He wants a singer. Now at the time, I've been reading a lot of these self-help, salesy type books with sayings like, fake it till you make it, and if you believe it, you can achieve it. So I summon some false confidence, look Matt dead in the eye, and say, a singer? Abso-fucking-lutely. Actually, I just said, sure, we can do that too. Cut to me scrambling through my phone, trying to find a singer that lives in the area. And then I see this name in my contacts list. Jeremy, singer-songwriter. I barely know the guy. Haven't talked in years, couldn't even tell you his last name. But I remember we jammed a couple of times and he could play guitar and sing, so I give him a call, and lucky for me, he's available the night of the gig. Fast forward to a few days before the show. We're supposed to have a rehearsal in my parents' basement. My drummer and bassist show up early and we wait around for Jeremy to arrive, but he's nowhere to be found. I call, I text, I email, no response, so I tell the guys, let's just start without him. Jeremy never shows. He finally texts me back, apologizing for being hard to reach. I ask if he's available to rehearse before the gig. He says he'll let me know. Spoiler alert, he never lets me know. The night of the gig rolls around. I walk in with my keyboard and amp, and to my surprise, there's Jeremy, already set up and drinking a beer at the bar. So I'm thinking, all right, well, he's here early, so at least we can have a decent sound check, right? Wrong. Jeremy's confidence takes a complete nosedive as soon as he gets in front of the microphone. And then the show starts. We play through the first set, and it is rocky to say the least. Feels like we're two separate bands, the drummer, bassist, and I in the back, and Jeremy in his own little world out front. Finally, we take a break. I tell the guys to go grab something to eat, but Jeremy, he heads right back to the bar. And a few minutes later, he comes up to me, beer in hand, and surprises me yet again. He asks if he can play some of his own songs in between the sets. And I'm like, sure, but I'm definitely not sure. Still, I figure it can't hurt to have some extra music between the sets, especially if it's songs Jeremy feels more comfortable playing. Anyway, he starts doing his thing up there. It gets a little loud and it's not really our style, but I try to brush it off and just focus on making the most of my free meal. And then, good old Jeremy surprises me a third time by launching into a stand-up comedy routine between songs.
What's the deal with lampshade?
That's the moment I try to hide my face in my hamburger. Cue Matt, the bar owner. He storms over, yelling at me to get Jeremy the f*** off the stage. My stomach drops, and suddenly I go from feeling like a band leader to a kid getting reprimanded by his father. So I run over to Jeremy, tell him to cut it out, and that we're going back on for a second set. That's when he kindly informs me that he doesn't really know the rest of the songs. And to top it all off, he's obviously drunk at this point. I've had enough, so I tell him he's done for the night, and I'm left there scrambling to salvage the rest of this gig. Now there's no way in hell I'm gonna try to sing the rest of these songs. All I can do is try to play down the rest of the charts on keys and try to cover both the chords and the melodies, which at the time is way above my pay grade. All I wanted was to get the hell out of there as quickly as humanly possible. We finish the set, I smile sheepishly at the bar owner, get paid, and walk out with my tail between my legs. Now for years I buried that gig deep down trying to forget it ever happened. But I remembered it recently and found myself getting pissed off at Jeremy all over again. But you know what? After thinking about it a little more, I realized that everything that happened was on me. I was the guy who agreed to a gig without knowing any local singers. I was the idiot who hired a musician I barely knew and scheduled just one rehearsal. And I was the genius who let Jeremy have free rein on the mic between sets. Moral of the story? Man, there are a few. But I think the main takeaway is that if you're gonna be a band leader, you have to take complete ownership of everything that happens before, during, and after the gig. Even if you're not a band leader, all musicians should take ownership of their performances. Don't go blaming your bad solo on the drummer for dragging or the guitarist for playing alternate chord changes. Trust me, the musicians you idolize most would still find a way to sound good, even in poor playing conditions. All right, hopefully I didn't get too preachy there, and I hope you enjoyed the story. If you have any gig horror stories of your own, I'd love to read about them. Leave them in the comments. And that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.